Πάμε ένα τελευταίο.
Few residents of a neighborhood in northern Oregon filed reports of strange noises coming from the forest. The noises were described as what sounded like eerie laughter. It was loud and echoed throughout the nearby area. One of the residents that heard the sounds went outside to where they seemed to be coming from and started recording.
Αυτό είναι οι μάχες του δάσους κάνουν τελετές. 100%. Μην πας, θα θυσιάσουν εσένα. Ρε, πραγματικά, σε τι εποχή ζούμε για να βγάλουν ένα βίντεο, να το ποστάρουν κάπου, δηλαδή ακούς τις μάγισσες του δάσους να ουρλιάζουν και πας μέσα στο δάσος. Άστο ρε παιδάκι μου, πάρε μια αστυνομία, πού πας? Και όλο αυτό είναι ένα πολύ... ό,τι και αν είναι. Δεν το ρισκάρεις, το ξέρεις 100%. Πολλοί είναι βρε, εγώ άκουσα ξεκάθαρα μάγισσα.
It's still unclear what exactly was making the noise that night. Lisa is a girl who owns a YouTube channel where she documents her life living in a van. She travels across North America recording her experience as she goes.
Okay.
The videos almost always follow more of a vlog style, showing the different forests or places she stays at overnight or the journeys to get there. However, in February of 2022, something different was uploaded. Lisa was sleeping in her van when she woke up to the sound of knocking right next to her ear. It was 4:30 in the morning and someone was outside. She sat there frozen, not knowing what to do. The knock then came again, and this time she uttered out a confused hello.
Ελένη, έχεις πάει σε δάσος απόγευμα προς βράδυ.
It would be completely silent for the next 15 minutes. Eventually she heard footsteps coming back, and this time grabbed her camera to record.
Somebody's back here again. I hear footprints. Hello? How can I help you? It's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you?
There was no response.
Μην λες I don't feel safe, γιατί ο άλλος παίρνει αυτοπεποίθηση. Παίρνει αυτοπεποίθηση ότι κοίτα, φοβισμένη γυναίκα. Τι στο καλό θες! Δεν θέλεις και κάτι! Καταλάβετε. Για να φοβηθεί. Footsteps, όχι footprints, είναι αυτό που είχα να πω και εγώ.
She turns the camera to herself and begins explaining what just happened. A few minutes into this, and she hears footsteps again.
I hear footprints.
Μπορεί να μπλοφάρει και φοβάται. Ναι, αλλά άλλος παίρνει αυτοπεποίθηση.
Yeah, somebody was just here again 3 times.
Λες, έχω όπλο του, λες, πρώτο πράγμα. Έχεις, δεν έχεις.
Walking on foot. I seen them walking and they hid behind the tree there, and then they went to a car, the same car that was here earlier. Well, that was back, and then it backed away and left again. 3 times in one night. This time, they didn't knock though. They were just walking around.
Έλα μου δε, αν βρεθείς στην περίπτωση, γιατί δεν βγάλεις βίντεο. Όντως. Έχεις πανικοβληθεί, προσπαθείς να σώσεις τον εαυτό σου. Γιατί είναι χειρότερο να το πεις ότι έχεις όπλο. Λες, έχω όπλο και έχω καλέσει ήδη την αστυνομία.
A lot of viewers believe the man was simply trying to steal valuables from the van. But why then come back 2 more times after you heard someone talking from inside? It's likely the man had worse intentions. This video was taken by a mountain biker in Vancouver, Canada. He had set up his phone camera to get a shot of him riding down a part of the mountain. Just as he comes down and passes the camera, he suddenly hits the brakes and starts calling out. He then comes back into frame, walking back up the mountain with his bike. As he does so, he keeps looking back behind him. Blocking his path was a bear, who is now following him.
Hey, hey! Hey!
Τι λες, ρε.
Hey! Hey!
Τι λες, ρε. Φύγε, ρε, αγόρι μου.
Hey!
Φοβήθηκε το ποδήλατο. Από το ποδήλατο, μάλλον.
The kid uses his bike to make himself look bigger. He hits it on the ground a few times, causing the bear to retreat back to the camera where it knocks it over.
Και μικρός σε ηλικία και έμεινε ψύχρεμος και το χειρίστηκε φανταστικά.
Finally, it retreats completely, allowing the kid to retrieve his phone and get back to safety.
Ήταν μικρή και αυτό έφυγε. Αυτό είναι μικρή.
On September 6,
Μικρή
2016,
ξεμικρή.
a Reddit post was made linking to a video that claimed to feature a weird noise from the woods. Included was text that read, "I put the kids to bed tonight and heard this loud, really bizarre sound coming from the woods outside my house. It lasted about 15 to 20 minutes. We have a handful of neighbors nearby, but this was too loud to be coming from them. It seemed to be coming from the direction of a nearby AM radio tower. But can those towers make noises like this? I googled around but couldn't find anything similar." This is the video.
Τίποτα, προγραμματίζουν όλη τη γειτονιά σας. Ναι. Αυτό τον εγκέφαλό σας προγραμματίζουν και δυστυχώς chat μας προγραμματίσανε και εμάς τώρα γιατί το ακούσαμε. Τι να κάνουμε.
Commenters immediately started
Συμβαίνουν
speculating
αυτά.
what the sound could have been. One of them suggested it could have been the sound of high winds passing through a nearby cell tower, the metal on
όντως θα
metal being what
μπορούσε.
created the eerie
Ναι.
tone. But the poster replied saying there was almost no wind that night, and even on days when it was windy, he never heard the sound. Another said the sound was extremely consistent with what it sounds like to drill into a strut or support that's made of high carbon steel, but said that it would be weird to be doing this that late into the night. To this day, it's
Σε
still
έβαλα
unknown
μυδία να το
what the
κόψω
sound
για
in
να
the
μην
video
σε
actually is.
προγραμματίσουν.
This pair of truck drivers was driving down the highway when a white truck quickly sped up to them. It got in front of them and
Το έχω δει
slowed
στο Fast
down,
and Furious
forcing them to
αυτό.
stop their truck altogether. They thought the man inside was trying to tell them something, like their brake lights weren't working or something, so they pulled to the side of the road. But once they stopped, no one got out of the white truck. It circled the two truckers and stopped right next to them, even blocking oncoming traffic at times. The person inside could now clearly be seen, but he just sits there, staring at them. They worried the man had a gun, and so they decided to drive away. But
Απλά
this
τους
causes the
κοιτάει.
white pickup to pull right in front of them.
Τι. Μα δεν κάνει και τίποτα αυτό στο αμάξι, γιατί. Δεν έχει πινακίδες, Είναι όλο λευκό μπροστά. Και θα βγει ή θα ράξουμε εδώ πέρα. Ποιο είναι το πλάνο. Κάτω το φορτηγό, αν τα... τον βαράει. Εγώ αν ήμουν οδηγός θα τον έσπρωχνα.
Do you see what's his tag? I can't see his tag.
The truck drivers are forced to back up to get around. They try to record the license plate, but it's not entirely visible. After a few seconds of just sitting there, the white pickup backs up to be in line with the truck. The truck drivers take this opportunity to try and drive away.
Δεν πάνε καλά. Ψυχολογικά από και ο κόσμος, ναι.
As they drive off, the white pickup rams into their back trailer in what can only be assumed an attempt to get them to stop.
Γιατί, μα δεν τους είπα θέλω το ένα, θέλω το άλλο.
A bit further down the road, they park and wait for police to arrive. When they did, they started a search, and after a while found the white pickup on the side of the road a bit further down. They detained the man inside, and after seeing the video, arrested him. Police later determined the man was not in his right mind, and the
κάτι είχε
outcome could
πάρει,
have easily
ναι.
been worse than it was.
Ναι, κάτι είχε πάρει. 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 Ναι, κάτι είχε πάρει
This dashcam footage was taken at 5 in the morning on July 29, 2016. The truck is in Calais, a city in France that overlooks the narrowest point in the English Channel.
Θα μπορούσε, ναι.
It's headed for a port which will take it over the channel to the UK. As it continues on the road, the truck in front of it suddenly brakes, causing the truck with the dashcam to land the horn. Shortly after, multiple men with flashlights appear on the road, throwing rocks at the truck, trying to get it to stop.
Νομίζω έχουμε δει το ίδιο βίντεο από την κάμερα του μπροστινού. Εκτός αν ήταν άλλο στο ίδιο μέρος.
Even used tree branches as makeshift roadblocks.
Όχι, δεν ήταν στο ίδιο μέρος. Σε μια άλλη γέφυρα το έχουμε δει αυτό εμείς. Άρα είναι σύστημα που το κάνουν στα φορτηγά.
The truck smashed through the tree branches, not stopping, knowing that if they do, they could be injured or worse. The men in the video on the side of the road are a gang of migrants trying to be smuggled into the UK by any means possible.
Έχουμε ξαναδεί
They'll
κάτι
set up
παρόμοιο,
makeshift
έτσι.
roadblocks, throw rocks at the windows of trucks, stand in the road, all in an attempt to get trucks to stop. If they're successful, they'll use different weapons to threaten truck drivers into smuggling them over the border. Reports of these occurrences, both successful and unsuccessful, come in somewhat frequently. Many other dash cams on trucks driving through the same area have captured similar occurrences. This one shows a hijacking attempt with more people involved.
Ναι, αυτό το βίντεο είχαμε δει. Δείτε εδώ τι κάνουνε. Και αυτός νομίζω τραυματίστηκε, αν θυμάμαι καλά. Γιατί βαράνε, του ρίχνανε πέτρες, πράγματα.
Typically, these attempts occur between 12 and 6 a.m. Police in Calais have been working to fully eradicate the issue for
Άντε,
years.
μπράβο, λένε, δεν θα κλείσουμε μάτι σήμερα. Αυτό είναι το πλάνο. Αυτό είναι το πλάνο, έτσι, έτσι.
In 2021, Hurricane Ida, an extremely destructive Category 4 hurricane, hit the state of Louisiana. It was the second most powerful hurricane recorded to have done so. It quickly devastated the southernmost port of Louisiana as it moved upwards further into the
Πότε
U.S.
το είχαμε δει, την προηγούμενη φορά που
The
λέγαμε στο
hurricane created
βίντεο.
multiple tornadoes as it did so.
Χάια πνίτη,
This semi-truck would
γελό.
find itself in the middle of one of them, all of which was caught on its dash cam. It happened in Horsham, Pennsylvania. The truck stops at a light, but upon turning green, the driver decides to stay put. The winds quickly begin picking up. Visibility continues to worsen as the power lines on the side of the road finally give way. The truck continues to be forcefully pushed around.
The tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. for southeast.
Εγώ θα πέταγα αν ήμουν έξω. Δεν υπάρχει. Εγώ θα πέταγα. Θα με είχε πάρει, θα ήμουν έτσι. Δεν θα σερνόμουν κάτω. Πάνω, θα πέταγα.
3:15 p.m. Wednesday, the stage was 6.4.
Light train, hi.
Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage light this evening to a crest of 14.8 feet tomorrow morning. Several driveways and other minor roadways are affected. Water begins to enter some basements. Impact at 10.0 feet. High water isolates several houses, resulting in some evacuation.
Το τούμπαρε. Το τούμπαρε το φορτηγό.
Winds are strong enough to push the truck over. The dashcam falls out of place, revealing the driver still being held in his seat from his seatbelt. Almost immediately after falling over, a man driving a van in front of the truck turned around and went over to help. The truck driver was assisted out of his truck, where the two men then ran for cover in a nearby building. The truck driver made it out with only minor injuries. A driver stopped his truck on the side of the road to change out one of his wheels. As he does so, he notices the same vehicle pass by multiple different times. Worried whoever was inside had bad intentions, the driver walks up the road and finds a steel pipe to defend himself.
Μπράβο, έξυπνος. Μ'
Shortly after, the
αρέσουν
car
έτσι,
drives back
μπράβο.
in, but this time stops. 3 bandits were inside. One of them, seen in a tracksuit, walks up to the truck and attempts to extort money from the driver for, quote, crossing their territory. But the driver stays inside his truck and calls for backup from other
Να
nearby
σου πω κάτι.
truckers.
Να σου πω κάτι. Νιώθω ότι όταν βλέπω αυτά τα βίντεο, ότι απ' τη μία η λογική μου λέει ότι θα έλεγα «Α, πάρε τα λεφτά, ξέρω εγώ», ή αν μπαίνω σπίτι μου, κλέψε, πάρε ό,τι θες, ξέρω εγώ, απλά φύγε. Αλλά υπάρχει ένα κάτι μέσα μου και λέω ότι θα ήθελα να τους παλέψω. ότι όχι ρε βλάκα, αλήτηση, χαμένε. Και είναι λίγο τρομακτικό. Νιώθω ότι τώρα που τα βλέπουμε λέω ότι τώρα έχει πάρει το ξύλο αυτός, αλλά πάνε τους δύο, όλους είναι τρεις βέβαια. Αλλά με αγχώνει ότι έχω τέτοιες σκέψεις και ότι νιώθω έτσι μία αντίδραση ότι θέλω να τον δω να τους σαπίζει. Καταλάβατε. Είναι λίγο ανησυχητικό.
5 minutes later, multiple trucks respond to his call for help. Now with backup, the driver gets out of his truck and confronts the bandits with his steel pipe. Meanwhile, trucks continue to pile in, blocking the bandits from retreating. Now with almost 20 truckers, they flip the bandits' car over.
Συγγνώμη, εγώ έχασα το πώς μαζευτήκε τόσος κόσμος. Τι έγινε?
Trucks respond to his call for help. 5 minutes later, multiple trucks respond to his call for help.
Δεν καταλαβαίνω τι εννοεί. Αυτοί που είναι σε νταλικέρδες, φορτηγατζίδες, μιλάνε ένας με τον άλλον και λέει χρειάζομαι βοήθεια και τέτοιο μεταξύ τους. Υπάρχει τέτοιο σύστημα. Από τον σύστημα του πήγε βοήθεια. Ναι, αλλά μιλάει κατευθείαν με τους άλλους φορτηγατζίδες. Είναι γνωστή του. Ξαντέρια από χωριό. Ναι ρε εσύ! Μεταξύ τους τα φορτηγάκια να μην γνωρίζονται. Οι δαλικέρδες έχουν ασύρματα από πολύ παλιά. Παιδιά, εγώ αυτό το ήξερα και μιλάνε μεταξύ τους. Ωραίο community. Καλά κάνανε έτσι να έρθουν να τους απείσουν.
Now with backup, the driver gets out of his truck and confronts the bandits with his steel pipe. Meanwhile, trucks continue to pile in, blocking the bandits from retreating.
Έτσι.
Now with almost 20 truckers, they flip the bandits' car over.
Ρε πλήτη! Τι στο καλό? Τι στο καλό?
The car is left to sit upside down on the side of the road as all the truckers begin to
Πάρ' το
leave,
κύριο στο
except
ταβάνι
one
έφτασα.
trucker from a potentially life-threatening situation.
Πολύ χαλαροί είμαστε. Άντε καλά που είμαστε χαλαροί. Στην τσίτα είμαστε.
This dash cam footage was also
Ωραίο
taken.
community. Τώρα δεν το ήξερα εγώ αυτό. Βλέπω τους φορτηγατζίδες, νταλικέρδες πιο έτσι. Μ' αρέσει. Ωραίο community.
On August 19, 1987, during the 4 p.m. edition of KNBC's Channel 4 News, reporter David Horowitz was interrupted by an unidentified man walking into the studio. The man appears in frame armed and hands David a set of papers. He instructs him to read them. And without another option, David calmly does what he's
Η
told.
τηλεόραση παλιά, ξεζούμαραν. Εδώ πέρα το κρύβανε, θα αλλάζανε πλάνο τώρα. Παλιά δεν έχει. Αυτό λέει θα έχει νούμερα τώρα. Ήρθε άλλος με το όπλο. Ξεζούμαρε να φανεί ολόκληρο. Ξεζούμαρε.
What is this? Let me see what it says. All right.
He's got a gun to his back.
All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
The video was then taken off the air and replaced with a still screen. But thousands of people had already witnessed it live, and police were immediately flooded with calls from viewers. Monitors in the studio clearly indicated they were no longer on the air, but the reporters desperately tried to convince the man he was still on. He believed them and continued to let David read.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. When I began receiving disturbing calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on. I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee.
Σίγουρα έχω δει επεισόδιο στο X-File με αυτόν.
Had been driven insane.
Σίγουρα.
In the same. What is it?
By the way, το τελειώνω, μείναν 4 επεισόδια.
After minutes of this, David finally finishes reading the statement, at which point the man sets down his weapon, and it's revealed that it was only ever an empty BB gun. Police entered the studio and immediately arrested the guy. He was Gary Stolman. He managed to get in the studio as a guest to an employee. His father, Max Stolman, would sometimes work for KNBC as a reporter. Once inside, Gary waited for the channel to go live before walking in the frame. Now, written on the paper Gary wanted read, it turned out to be a nonsense statement on the CIA, alien life, and other conspiracy-type stuff. One of the sections read, "The man who has appeared on KNBC for the past 3 years is not my biological father. He is a clone, a double created by the Central Intelligence Agency and alien forces. It is only a small part of a greater plot to overthrow the United States government and possibly the human race itself.
Θα το αρχίσω από την αρχή. Δεν τρελάθηκα με το X-Files. Με το ζόρι το τελειώνω. Δεν τρελάθηκα. Με την σειρά. Περίμενα κάτι πολύ καλύτερο, να πω την αλήθεια. Ίσως για όταν βγήκε να ήταν καλό, αλλά όταν το βλέπεις το 2025.
I'm just thankful he wasn't shot. Many households nowadays use home security cameras for surveillance and protection. Popular companies like Ring and Nest will broadcast these live feeds on the internet for users with the account's email and password to access. However, this means that if anyone else has the email and password, they can also access this live feed from anywhere. There have been many cases of hackers getting users' emails and passwords through various methods and spying on unsuspecting families. Even using the camera.
Είχαμε πει την προηγούμενη φορά που βλέπουμε στο Spooky Video, είχαμε πει ότι υπάρχει ένα site που έχει από πάρα πολλά σπίτια κάμερες και μπορείς να δεις μέσα στα σπίτια των ανθρώπων. Και λένε ότι δεν είναι παράνομο, γιατί όταν παίρνεις μια κάμερα έτσι για security, ότι έχει κάποιον κωδικό που κανονικά εσύ πρέπει να τον αλλάξεις για να μην μπορεί κανείς να μπει και να στη χακάρει. Γιατί μπορεί να είναι ο ίδιος κωδικός για όλες τις κάμερες. Κάτι τέτοιο νομίζω έλεγε. Και λένε ότι δεν μπορούν να κλείσουν το site γιατί ο κωδικός αυτός δεν είναι χακαρισμένος, είναι γνωστός κωδικός για το συγκεκριμένο μοντέλο της κάμερας. Οπότε έχουν πρόσβαση επειδή έχουν τον κωδικό, δεν είναι παράνομη η πρόσβαση, κάτι τέτοιο έλεγε. Οπότε δεν μπορούν να κλείσουν το site. Και υπάρχουν πάρα πολλοί άνθρωποι που οι κάμερες των σπιτιών τους εκεί πέρα υπάρχουν στο site και όποιος θέλει μπαίνει και τα βλέπει. Τρελό.
Microphone feature to talk to them. Here are 6 of the most disturbing cases. Ashley LeMay is a mother of 3 and had installed a Ring security camera in her daughter's bedroom for peace of mind, as she put it. In December of 2019, one of the daughters, Alyssa, heard a voice coming from the room and walked in expecting to find one of her sisters. However, she quickly realized no one was there. The voice began repeatedly directing non-monetizable words at Alyssa.
Α, την έβριζε τη μικρή ρε. Τώρα σοβαρά την έβριζε. Τώρα, πόσο άρρωστος πρέπει να είσαι. Say it with me, της λέει.
Alyssa walks back out of the room and yells out that she can't hear them, still thinking it's one of her family members. But she would get no response and return back to her room, confused.
Come on, girl, say it with me.
Τον ηλίθιο.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend. You can do whatever you want right now. You can mess up your room. You can break your TV. You can do whatever you want.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
Πόσο άρρωστος πρέπει να είσαι. Πόσο άρρωστος πρέπει να είσαι.
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
The voice attempts to persuade Alyssa into misbehaving.
Σλέβη, αυτό ακριβώς είναι αυτό το βίντεο. Γίνεται ήδη αυτό. Όχι φαντάσου σε λίγα χρόνια. Γίνεται ήδη. Αυτό είναι. Το βίντεο που βλέπουμε είναι ακριβώς αυτό.
Now scared and still unsure of where the voice is coming from, she calls out for her parents. Her parents later unplugged the camera and have since gotten rid of the system completely. The hacking was ultimately attributed to the family reusing the same email and password from a site that was hit with a data breach. This is the home security camera footage from the Browns family, a family in Florida. On December 8, 2019, the speakers of their camera started blasting the sound of an alarm.
Θα πω κάτι, εντάξει, θα πω κάτι. Δεν ξέρω αν έχει κάποιος από εσάς θέμα με συμμετρίες και τα σχετικά. Οι κουζίνες που έχουν πάγκους που είναι έτσι, εμένα λίγο με ταράσσουν. Δεν ξέρω πώς νιώθετε εσείς, αλλά εγώ δεν νιώθω πολύ καλά. Απλά ήθελα να το βγάλω από μέσα μου, να το μοιραστώ μαζί σας. Πάμε, συνεχίζουμε.
A voice then followed, berating them with hateful comments.
What is that?
Main man Shaq. It's your boy Chance on Nold. Welcome to the Noldcast.
Γιατί δεν ξέρω, φαίνεται λάθος στο μάτι μου. Φαίνεται ότι δεν θα έπρεπε να είναι έτσι.
So did your child come out black or like kind of like light skin? I don't know.
What?
Nothing.
The voice mentions the couple's son, which at no point during that night walked in front of the camera. This would suggest that the hacker was watching the family's live feed for longer than just that night. The Browns believe it was at least multiple days in which they would have no way of knowing they were being watched. However, they were unable to find out exactly how long they were being watched before the hacker came over the speed. After nearly 3 minutes of enduring hateful speech from the voice, they finally ripped out the camera's batteries.
Can you bring like a web browser up on your phone and then type in the website that I tell you?
No.
Why? I'll leave you and your family alone. Or I could do this. I like your dog. Hey, go to no.
After this night, the Browns family stopped using any kind of home security camera.
Καλά, εγώ η αλήθεια είναι ότι κάμερα έτσι μέσα στο σπίτι δεν θα βάζα. Άλλο να βάλεις να γραφεί έξω.
Police in Decatur, Georgia received an anonymous phone call reporting a shooting inside of a woman's home. They immediately responded and sent out 10 officers to the scene. The homeowners were completely caught off guard and suggested to the police that they were given the wrong address. Police called back to dispatch to verify the address, and they confirmed they were at the right place. The homeowners offered to let the officers search their house to avoid any suspicion of them being involved. When they found nothing inside, they started to question who the anonymous caller was. And as they were heading back outside, they would find out.
Yeah, I'm right in the camera. Look in the camera, yes.
The Ring doorbell camera had been hacked and the family had been swatted.
The fact that somebody would be childish enough to do something that could have taken somebody else's life.
Ναι, γιατί οι άλλοι αν πιστεύουν ότι μέσα υπάρχουν πυροβολισμοί θα μπουν και αυτοί με τα όπλα μέσα. Δεν ξέρεις τι μπορεί να γίνει.
Same passwords for everything.
That's sick.
We are sick. Yeah, we are disgusting. This is the 15th one today. We do this all over the United States.
The homeowner's doorbell camera had been hacked and they'd been swatted. Being swatted is essentially when someone calls emergency services, deceiving them into believing there's an emergency at your address. The hacker was able to get the homeowner's address using their IP address. They then reported a shooting as, I guess, their sick way of teaching the homeowners to use different passwords. Swatting is a real criminal offense, and in some rare cases can be fatal. The hacker behind this home security camera hacking and resident swatting was never able to be identified.
Ένα καιρό γενικά έχει γίνει αλήθεια τρέντ και σαν SWAT συνέχεια στα σπίτια ξένων streamer. Ναι, αυτό είναι πάρα πολύ επικίνδυνο γιατί λέγανε ότι ξέρω εγώ έχουν όπλα το να το άλλο. Οπότε ο αστυνομικός έμπαινε και πίστευε ότι ο άλλος έχει όπλο. Οπότε ήταν έτοιμος να πυροβολήσει. Μιλάμε και για Αμερική. Έτσι. Πάνε φυλακή γι' αυτό, άνθρωποι. Πας φυλακή γι' αυτό. Δεν είναι αστείο, δεν είναι αχαχαχά. Πας φυλακή και σε βρίσκουν.
The home security camera footage of the Chrysalic family. The camera is shown sitting on the kitchen counter as the youngest daughter sits on the couch in the background watching TV. Suddenly, a voice begins talking over the speaker.
Βλέπουμε spooky video. Κάτι gamer για λαού. Βλέπουμε spooky video.
Hey, what show is that?
Δες εκεί τους βλάκες.
What season, y'all?
Και δεν ξέρεις εκείνη τη στιγμή αν είναι κάποιος μέσα στο σπίτι. Δεν πάει να μιλήσει όσο μιλάνε από την κάμερα. That's when the dad, Adam, walks in the room, unaware he's being watched. The voice continues, and his head jolts towards the TV. When he realizes it wasn't coming from the TV, he pulls out his phone. That's when he remembers the Ring camera.
Δεν ξέρω, δεν με αγχώνουν αυτά. Τι λέει, δεν σε αγχώνει να σε βλέπουν έτσι μες στο σπίτι σου.
What are you eating? You hungry?
What? Hello?
Powering off.
Κάνει μόνο στο sound effect. Φιου.
Hello. This is Ring.
Πόσο άρρωστοι άνθρωποι. Πόσο άρρωστοι losers είναι αυτοί, losers.
Who is this?
The voice attempts to imitate some sort of robotic ring text-to-speech
Όχι, με στο σπίτι και εγώ δεν θα μπορούσα να
However,
χακάνω
Adam knows his account's been hacked. He disabled the camera and contacted Ring about the incident. The company responded saying an unidentified phone had logged into the Ring account. They tried to trace it back to a source, but were unable to. They basically told him there was nothing they could do, but have him change his password and set up two-factor authentication
Πώς
for his
γίνεται
account.
να μην μπορώ να κάνω τίποτα, αφού ήταν έναν αριθμό, ένα κινητό, να έχει χακάρει την κάμερά τους. Δεν μπορούν να βρουν σε ποιον ανήκει αυτό το κινητό.
This dashcam video was captured on a freeway in Glendale, California. It shows a Tesla abruptly slamming on its brakes as the driver gets out. The man is wielding some kind of lead pipe. He approaches the car with the dashcam and immediately starts slamming the window.
Μεγαλύτερη ζημιά θα κάνεις στο αυτοκίνητο παρά αυτά που θα κλέψεις. Ο άλλος δεν κάνει ούτε μπρος ούτε πίσω τίποτα. Γιατί απλά τον βάρεσε.
Somehow the window doesn't shatter, after which the man simply gets back in his car and continues driving. Later down the road, he was captured on the same dashcam attacking another car. The car is shown speeding away from the attacker. The incident was reported to police, but the Tesla didn't have any license plates, so they were unable to locate it. Over the next few days, police received multiple more calls reporting similar experiences. One of these was also caught on dashcam.
Ήθελε να τους κλέψει ή απλά έτσι ήθελε... Πάτα τον ρε! Και την πόρτα μαζί θα του έπαιρνα έτσι, για να του κάνω και ζημιά. Θα λέγα, α, στον πανικό μου, δεν ήξερα!
After a few more days, police were finally able to locate the man. He was 36-year-old Nathaniel Radamak, who already had a lengthy criminal record with active warrants out for his arrest.
Ο Νίκολας Κέιτζ!
Among the recent random road rage incidents throughout earlier years, he also took part in serious criminal threats and stalking in a total of 8 different states across the country.
Νομίζω ότι θέλουν να βγουν έξω για τσαμπουκάκι, του κάνει ότι και καλά τι θα κάνεις.
Was never made clear. Currently, Nathaniel is being kept in jail on a bail set at over $5 million. This dashcam footage was taken on January 25th, 2021, in the middle of winter. Snow is on the ground as this car drives along a canyon in Utah. As the car approaches a section of road with no guardrails, a pickup on the other side of the road loses control due to the icy conditions. It's forced into an oncoming Subaru. The two vehicles drop down the ledge below, all caught on this car's dashcam.
Είναι καλά. Επίσης ο δρόμος γιατί δεν έχει κάγκελα εκεί ρε. Τώρα γλίστρες ο άλλος όντως ή επίτηδες?
Everyone inside both vehicles
Και εγώ θα τον πατούσα τον άλλον.
most only receiving minor injuries. 4 out of the 5 people involved were able to get out of their vehicles on their own.
Ψέματα λέω. Θα τους παγά την πόρτα
However, a
όμως.
woman in the pickup had been trapped due to the way the vehicle had
Λέει
dented from
γλίστρες,
impacting
αλλά
the bottom of the
πολύ
ravine.
έντονα.
Although fire crews arrived minutes later and were able to free her. The road was closed for several hours for recovery operations. 2 tow trucks were needed to get each vehicle out. This happened in May of 2021. The dashcam footage shows Michael Shackelford driving a San Antonio road after leaving his bank for work. As he's driving, a car passes him with one of the back doors open.
Πάνω στον πανικό, ναι, ναι, ναι. Ναι, για να το
In the
φέρεις στη θέση σου,
situation,
ίσως
Michael
γι'
diverts
αυτό.
from his original route and begins following the car while simultaneously calling the police.
Αν εσείς ροές είναι αντίθετα, πού τα είδατε όλα? Σωστό κι αυτό, καλή παρατήρηση, δεν το είδα.
Hey, I need police ASAP. I'm on 410 South by Ingram Park Mall. A lady is screaming outside her Ford, a gray Ford exiting Ingram Road right now. She's trying to get out of a vehicle and the guy won't let. No, she's not exiting. They got back on 410. I don't know. It says 410 south from Ingram going towards like Marbach area.
After a few minutes on the highway, the car finally takes an exit. Now at slower speeds, the woman in the backseat sees an opportunity and exits the moving vehicle.
Military Drive, exit by the academy now.
Εγώ, να σου πω κάτι, κανονικά δεν πρέπει να μπλέκουμε. Δεν πρέπει να μπλέκουμε γιατί δεν ξέρει ο άλλο αν είναι τρελό στον άλλο. Εγώ, αν οδηγούσα και έβλεπα μια γυναίκα που ήθελε να βγει από ένα αυτοκίνητο και κατέφερε τέλος πάντων να βγει από το αυτοκίνητο, θα τη έκανα νόημα. Έλα εδώ, θα την έπαιρνα. Δεν πειράζει. Για κάποια πράγματα αξίζει να βάλει στον αυτό το αυτοκίνητο. Θα την έπαιρνα. Θα τη έλεγα, έλα, πάμε. Και ας μας κυνηγούσε μετά άλλος. Ό,τι είναι. Μετά ό,τι είναι. Θα δείξει.
She's screaming and kicking in the car. He's erratically. She's trying to get out of the car. She's opening the door. She's trying to jump out. He sped up and he couldn't get out. She jumped out. She jumped out. She jumped out. Ma'am, get in my truck.
Ωραίος, μπράβο. Μπράβο.
I'm going to the police station right now.
He has my car. He has everything.
The one on Calabria, yeah.
The two see a police officer and flag him down. They retreated to a nearby parking lot where a medical crew arrived. The woman was brought to a
Βέβαια
hospital.
κι αν ήταν στημένο και την έβαζα στα μάξι μου και με έσφαζε. Μπα, πολύ τραβηγμένο. Ήρθα να πω μια καλησπέρα. Δεν θα κάτσω, πρέπει να ξυπνήσω 6. Καλή συνέχεια. Bye, ταξιάρχη, καλή ξεκούραση.
Precaution, but ultimately it was determined that she only suffered minor injuries. The woman had been taken against her will by her own husband, who refused to let her go. She had to resort to yelling out to nearby drivers for help. The husband was later found by police and arrested. This happened on a highway in Massachusetts. Driving is a man named Jeffrey Code.
Όντως, αυτό δεν φαινόταν στημένο. Εδώ είναι...
A large slab of ice suddenly gets dislodged from the car in front of it.
Α, νόμιζα είναι το τέτοιο. Το καπάκι το μπροστινό, όπως λέγεται.
The slab smashes into Jeffrey's windshield, immediately shattering it.
Planning attacks on New Year's Eve. Police and prosecutors, two suspects were arrested in the Turkish capital after having
Μου θυμίζει λίγο το θάνατό σου αυτό.
at a central square and popular bars likely to be crowded on New Year's Eve. The suspects crossed into Turkey from Syria. With the terror threat elevated, security is high in Turkey's major cities and along the Syrian.
Now completely unable to see, Jeffrey slowly pulls to the side of the road, blindly crossing 2 lanes as he does so. He was unhurt, as fortunately the slab hadn't completely broken through the windshield, instead leaving cracks across the entire thing. It also damaged a side mirror and the windshield wipers. Jeffrey admits that he likely could have avoided the slab of ice had he slammed on the brakes, but then you're risking losing control and getting hit by other cars, like the one right beside him, which kept him from swerving into a different lane.
Ο πάγος από πού ήρθε? Α, από το αυτοκίνητο πάνω ήταν κολλημένο.
A small plane in San Diego had lost power mid-flight. The plane wasn't close enough to an airport, and this information was given to air traffic control. The 2 men inside the plane were instructed to perform an emergency landing on the nearest road. The cameras on this Tesla show exactly that from multiple different angles.
Ωραία ταχύτητα. Κάτσε να δούμε πού πας. Έλα το προσγείωσε, ωραίος. Τι να κάνει. Είπαμε, άμα πέφτεις, κάτι πρέπει να κάνεις. Το προσγείωσε, ωραίος.
It was forced to continue driving up towards a second intersection, where it hits an SUV. The plane lost a wing and it began leaking gas all over the road. The two inside of the SUV and the two inside of the plane were taken to the hospital. All of them suffered only minor injuries, though. Authorities actually commended the pilot for the landing. He managed to keep the plane on the road, doing minimal damage considering the circumstances. Had he lost control or even had the light to the first intersection been
Και αν είχε χτυπήσει στα τέτοια, στα φώτα, στα τέτοιο, στα φανάρια. Α, ήταν από την άλλη μεριά. Οκ, εντάξει.
On April 2nd, 2015, Paul Yearly was driving on the highway to his work in his Ford Mustang when he suddenly started feeling nauseous. He started getting tunnel vision, and he realized something was off, so he turned off his cruise control. That's when he recalls everything going black, and he passes out while driving, his foot coming to rest on top of the gas pedal, pushing it to the floor.
Τι έπαθε, λιποθύμησε. Όχι ρε. Και πατάει το γκάζι. Τι λες, πόσο τρομακτικό.
He narrowly misses a power line pole that could have ended his life and continues driving unconscious into a field. He's then steered back towards the highway, but luckily is unable to clear the hill. As he starts driving back towards the fence, he finally comes to, putting his hands back on the steering wheel and pressing the brakes.
Άγιο είχε. Κοίτα και ταχύτητα, πατάει το γκάζι.
This was the first and only time Paul had ever blacked out.
Από τι μπορεί να σου συμβεί αυτό.
One of the passing cars noticed him in the field and stopped to help him and call the police. He was taken to the ER. Multiple tests were performed to determine what caused the sudden loss of consciousness. The main cause turned out to be a hereditary low blood pressure condition. Paul was treated and was able to make a full recovery. This dashcam footage was captured on June 25th, 2021. It happened in Waverly, Kansas during one of the state's summer storms. The car was trailing a Jeep Grand Cherokee as they were approaching an intersection. Right as it starts to slow down, lightning suddenly strikes the car.
Κεραυνός το χτύπησε.
Four lightning strikes hit the vehicle in quick succession. Right after, all of the lights in the car turn off as the electrical system had failed. A hole was left in the door handle, and the tires to the car were blown out from the electricity traveling through them to get to the ground. Inside the car was a family of 5. None of them suffered any injuries. Many cars nowadays come with safety features that shockproof the inside of the vehicle, though it was no longer drivable. The electrical system had been completely destroyed. This footage was captured in Flint, Michigan on April 24th, 2023. The house had 2 Ring cameras, one above the garage and the other was a Ring doorbell camera. Around 10 p.m., a man in a red jacket and another person just behind him are shown walking up to the house's front door. Before knocking or ringing the doorbell, the man in the jacket immediately starts trying to break down the door.
Με όλα αυτά θυμήθηκα γιατί δεν βλέπω τέτοια βίντεο. Έχω χεστεί πάνω μου. Κοίτα, όχι, είναι για να ξέρουμε τι συμβαίνει εκεί έξω και να μην είμαστε τρελαλή τρελαλό, να έχουμε το νου μας. Okay.
The Ring camera falls to the ground from the impacts, but the door itself doesn't budge. After those few seconds, the man walks around the house's side door and again immediately starts trying to break it down. By this point, the homeowner had woken up in a panic and was checking the camera's feed for an explanation.
Θέλω να τους δείρουνε, θα ήθελα. Είναι κακό που νιώθω την ανάγκη να τους δείρει κάποιος. Ας είναι αστυνομικοί. Δεν πειράζει. Ας τους δείρει κάποιος. Τι κρατάει άλλος? Έχει μαχαίρι, έχει όπλο, γιατί είμαι στο θολώνει. Και εγώ το ίδιο θέλω μισκά, εντάξει, δεν είμαι μόνο μου.
Police were called out to the property. When they reviewed the footage, they noted that one of the men was armed. What these 2 men planned to do with the people inside if they had successfully broken in is unknown. It's unclear if they were ever identified by police.
Βλέπω χρόνια τέτοια βίντεο. Δεν σταματάς ποτέ.
This clip was captured at 3 in the morning on April 9th, 2023.
Μ' αρέσουν πάρα πολύ εμένα.
It
Αυτά τα
happened in
βίντεο, πάρα
Albuquerque, New
πολύ.
Mexico.
Είναι εθισμός.
The homeowner was sleeping when the clip was recorded. It wasn't until he woke up and saw a notification on his phone that he found out about it.
Αυτή πως απλά η καημένη
Viewed
νομίζω
the
ότι πάει
footage,
σπίτι της.
horrified. This is what he saw.
Τα έχει χάσει μωρέ και
A
απλά
woman is
νομίζω
shown
ότι...
trying multiple different keys to get into the house and even looking around for a hidden one.
Αυτή νομίζω ότι νόμιζε ότι είναι το σπίτι της. Αυτό είναι αναπτήρας, ας πούμε. Όχι ρε, αυτή έχει πάρει ό,τι παίρνετε. Όλα τα έχει πάρει. Ό,τι μπορούσε το έχει πάρει. Και νομίζει η καημενούλα ότι είναι το σπίτι
The
της.
homeowner claimed that he had never seen this woman before. He said that she later started throwing rocks at his car and trying those locks. It's likely she was under the influence of something.
Καλά.
Multiple times she tries to insert keys into the doorbell camera itself. After a few minutes she walks off and was never seen on the property again. Her intentions are unknown.
Απλά σπίτι της να πάει. Το intention της ήταν να μπει σπίτι της. Απλά δεν
Walter
ήταν το σπίτι
Hickox
της.
is a homeowner in Daytona Beach, Florida. His home is set out in a wooded section of the city. In January of 2022, Walter was taking his 3 dogs out onto the porch when he noticed one of them intently looking at something outside. The dogs suddenly start running to the left side of the camera, and that's when Walter realizes they were looking at a black bear. The bear
Τα
climbs
σκυλιά
over
όμως
the
δεν
protective
φοβούνται.
railing
Πήγαν
as
εκεί
close to
στην
the dogs.
αρκούδα. Τσαμπουκά. Και αυτός ωραίος, αντί να τρέξει να κρυφτεί, προστατεύει τα σκυλάκια του. Ωραίος.
With barely any time to process what he was seeing, Walter lunges at the bear as it goes for his dogs.
Ωραίος.
He manages
Ωραίος.
to push it back before he shoves a nearby chair in the doorway, preventing it from attacking again. He yells out that he was attacked by a bear as he brings his dogs back inside.
I got attacked by a bear! Oh my God!
When I had time to just sit and just stare, it all hit me, and I started bawling. I couldn't believe how close to death I was, and I did it for my dog.
Walter received minor injuries from the bear. His dogs didn't receive any injuries.
Και φαίνονται τόσο cute οι αρκούδες, φαίνονται τόσο cute. Αλλά απ' την άλλη, σε κάνουν...
Only the homeowner hadn't ordered DoorDash. She was sleeping. It was only her and her nephew in the home at the time. She remembers waking up to a metal clinking sound, but didn't think much of it until she noticed damage to the outside of her house the next morning. This caused her to look back at her cameras, both the footage from her doorbell camera and the one she had set up in her backyard. This is what she saw.
Και τι έκανε αυτή, απλά φαγητό ήθελε να της δώσει. Ντάμανς, εν τω μεταξύ, πού είδε, τι έκανε. Δεν μου φαίνεται να θέλει να κλέψει αυτή. Οκ, ότι είπα άκυρα. Μάλλον σου λένε μία σεξι κοπέλα έτσι και καλά σας έφερα φαΐ και να μην έχει παραγγείλει ο άλλος να πει οκ. Θα ανοίξω.
This could be written off as a determined delivery driver that unknowingly had the wrong address. But it was the backyard footage that was genuinely concerning.
Δύσκολο.
At 2 a.m., 4 men got into the backyard and tried to gain entry into the home through a window. It's likely they planned on entering through the front door by ambushing the person that opened it for the DoorDash delivery. But when no one answered, they resorted to trying the backyard while the fake DoorDash deliverer stayed out front as a distraction. However, fortunately the men would be unsuccessful and are shown running away from the house on the backyard camera. The 4 men and the woman at the front door were all seen leaving the area together in a dark-colored sedan.
Α, ήτανε μαζί
They
του
were never
σίγουρα
caught by
τότε.
police.
Ωραία, μπράβο.
In June of 2019, multiple homes in Chicago got a visit from a man claiming to be an investigator known as Jeff Rushmore. The only problem is that man doesn't exist. He was impersonating an investigator with the local police department, fully equipped with a fake uniform, a fake badge, and fake police radio chatter. This ring camera caught him performing the act.
Φαίνεται ψεύτικος.
Can you open the door? 26, I got you en route. Hill Park District 821 is going to be the sixth person. 900 North Villa. 900 North Villa looks like PD is...
Δεν ξέρω, για κάποιο λόγο φαίνεται ψεύτικο όλο το κοστούμι του, ότι κάτι όπως στέκεται, δεν έχει την αυτοπεποίθηση. Για κάποιο λόγο τον βλέπεις και δεν σε πείθει, δεν θα με έπειθει, θα...
The homeowner doesn't answer the door, yet the man stays in character, even faking a call back reporting the unresponsive homeowner.
Τον φοράει το ρούχο. Ναι, είναι τα χέρια του που δεν ξέρει τι να κάνει με τα χέρια, δεν έχει αυτοπεποίθηση.
Doorbell camera shows the same man. This time the homeowner does open the door.
Και αντί για στρίμμα το είχε κινητό, δεν το είδα. Δεν έχει αυτοπεποίθηση. Είναι... Να σταθώ εδώ, όχι, έτσι. Τα χειρά να τα βάλω εδώ, όχι θα τα βάλω εκεί.
Hi, sorry to bother you so late. Rushmore with the Winfield Police Department. I'm an investigator. One of your neighbors down the street reported a missing...
The video cuts out there. The man explains a missing person case, and when the homeowner says he doesn't know anything about it, the interaction ends. The motives behind him impersonating an investigator are unknown.
Συγγνώμη, αυτός ο τρελός, μισό λεπτάκι, αυτός δεν ήθελε, δεν το έκανε για να μπει στο σπίτι για να κλέψει, αυτός είχε φαντασίωση να είναι detective, investigator, ξέρω εγώ τι. Και πήγαινε και απλά έπαιζε τον ρόλο στα σπίτια, χωρίς να έχει πρόθεση να κλέψει κάτι. Αυτός είναι πιο τρελός από τους άλλους, αυτός είναι χειρότερος.
The man is simply trying to get people to open their door thinking they're safe, but proceed to rob them or sometimes worse.
Ναι, αυτός δεν έκανε τίποτα. Ναι.
No one knows his motives. One commenter said,
I
honestly believe he was testing the waters, and as he felt more confident, he would have escalated from getting people to open their door to entering into people's homes to only God knows what next. According to recent documents, the man was never identified.
Σκύψε, ξυπνάει και να παίζει τον ρόλο αυτόν. Ναι, και έχεις το πρωί δουλειές, να ξυπνήσεις νωρίς για δουλειά και να σε πρίζει. Θα το σπάσει, ρε. Έχει... Κάνε γύρω-γύρω. Σε είδαμε.
Inside the home was a woman and her son. The man was the woman's ex-boyfriend. He failed to remove the camera, so he left, but returned 30 minutes later. This time he had a cloth to cover the camera.
Καλά, σε έχουμε δει. Ex-boyfriend λέει. Ρε δεν σε θέλει, ρε δεν σε θέλει, ρε βλάκα, δεν σε θέλει. Πήγαινε βρες άλλη. Πώς να σε θέλει τόσο ανώμαλος που είσαι, δες τι κάνεις. Ποια μπορεί να σε θέλει. Δες τι κάνεις.
3 minutes later, the homeowner's son ran into her room, frantic, telling her their car was on fire. Police and firefighters were called to the scene.
Έβαλε όντως το αμάξι. Έβαλε φωτιά στο αμάξι και το σπίτι κάηκε.
An expert in abusive relationships responded with, abusive relationships are about power and control. And when that power and control is taken away,
της έκαψε το σπίτι, ρε.
Then what we see is those efforts are escalated to try and get them back. Police are currently looking for the homeowner's ex-boyfriend seen in the video.
Τι εννοείς ότι τον έχουν βρει? Όμορφα. Ωραία, μπράβο.
In April of 2023 in a wooded section of Asheville, North Carolina.
Αρκουδίτσες.
The homeowner of this house got a notification saying motion was detected at her front door. She opened it up on her phone and saw 3 bears on her front porch. They were tearing open a package that had recently been delivered. Inside the package was dog food, which they easily would have been able to smell. The homeowner opened her door and confronted the animals, trying to scare them off.
Καλά, τι? Άνοιξε στις αρκούδες. Είναι τρελοί οι άνθρωποι. Είναι έστω 3 αρκούδες. Άστο ρε παιδί μου, ξαναπαραγγέλνει η σκυλοτροφή. Δεν αξίζει να βάζεις ζωή σου σε κίνδυνο για ένα πακέτο σκυλοτροφή. Γιατί γλυκούλες. Το πήρε και έφυγε.
take one of the 2 bags of dog food inside the package. They're seen on the right side of the screen with the bag in their mouth as they walk off. This footage was captured at night just before 2 a.m. It shows a man ringing the doorbell to this home in Rochester, New York. Immediately after, he hides behind a parked car. He's seen crouched down, holding some kind of club in his hand, breathing heavily and sweating profusely.
Βίντεο
He nervously
creepy,
looks back and
spooky
forth
video.
from out of the street to back at the house.
Όχι creepy vids, είναι κάποιο YouTube account, αυτό δεν το ξέρω. Να το τσεκάρω, το creepy vids, δεν το ξέρω. Εμείς βλέπουμε από το Chilling Scares. Κρατάει κάτι αυτό, το χάσα το βίντεο.
The man clearly looks to be on something.
Καλά, σίγουρα.
When he realizes no one was going to answer the door, he walks away. Another minute passes when a voice yells out that the police are on their way.
Εκεί τώρα αν τον έβλεπα, ακούστε, εγώ αν τον έβλεπα αυτό να βαράει τα κουδούνια, πρώτον δεν θα το απαντούσα, θα έπαιρνα την αστυνομία τηλέφωνο. Θα έλεγα τι γίνεται. Αν τον έβλεπα να φεύγει, δεν θα ήθελα να φύγει, για να τον πιάσει η αστυνομία. Οπότε θα του πιάνω κουβέντα. Θα έλεγα, για τι θέλεις, μέχρι να έρθει η αστυνομία. Βλακεία. Μπορεί και βλακεία.
It's unclear whose voice this is. There are 2 main possibilities here. Either this man was hiding from someone for one reason or another and he was trying to get inside a house so that he wouldn't be found, the voice being the person he was hiding from. Or he was trying to bait the homeowner into opening the door where he then planned to do who knows what. The voice here being a concerned neighbor that saw what he was doing. Either way, the man most likely did not have the best intentions.